That's just our, like...
We're recording?
Yeah.
Oh. We're recording. I've been recording for like a minute and a half.
Oh, why didn't you say anything?
That's just our intro.
I just wanted
now.
some good background, really piercing the veil, letting people see behind the scenes.
You got married.
This will be Patreon exclusive.
So, welcome back to Wow, Don't Date These Guys with Naomi Guy and Joel Guy. And
I guess Len is the unofficial third guy sibling.
Yeah, our special guest, Len Zuro.
Hi, I'm not a guy.
Len Zuro.
I am a guy.
Parentheses guy, yeah.
This week we will be drinking alcohol for the first time on the show. Well, Naomi will be drinking alcohol for the first time on the show because Joel decided to drink alcohol without me for the first time on the show. So that sucks. But Joel and I will be drinking...
Where were you doing this? Where was he doing it? What didn't you get to do?
You two were in San Diego or something. And
no.
Well, no, but wait. I wanted to try and get her to say on the show, first time on the show, like it's for a sixth time in one sentence.
So Joel and I will be drinking Skinny Girl white wine, Chardonnay, and Len will be drinking Pacifico because yesterday was his birthday, so he can drink legally.
And this is the first legal drink he's ever had.
No, actually, we went out yesterday for drinks.
Yeah, we went out yesterday.
Oh, this is horrible.
Ew.
This is like drinking like plastic wrap.
My Pacifico is amazing.
I'm proud
Try
of
this.
You.
No. What makes you think I want?
It tastes like watered down wine.
No.
That's a no
That's
for me,
awful.
dog.
Yeah,
Wow, this is something that you get and then you sit for like the next hour and a half at a party, but the level of your glass doesn't change the entire time.
Dad actually gave me this wine.
Is Dad trying to give you body image issues?
No, he bought 2 bottles and he's
Why?
like, "Do you want the other bottle?" And I was like,
Is Dad trying to give himself body image issues?
I don't want to answer that.
Okay,
On
Naomi,
podcasts.
can we get to why we are here today and what I assume is going to be a Patreon exclusive?
No,
first?
this is going to be a regular on-air.
This
episode.
is something we want to actually share with the
Yeah.
world.
This show, God save, the Lachey's fucked up majorly.
So, this is Why I Don't Date These Guys, a podcast discussing dating, sex, and relationships, in which we started our intro and we'll probably cut out half of it because we're about 6 minutes in at this point.
I'm going to let
Today,
you edit this one.
we will be discussing The Ultimatum, Marriage or Move On, a Netflix original show that Len and I actually decided to watch because we were a fan of the drama in the other Netflix original show, Love is Blind. So, at this point, Joel has not watched The Ultimatum.
I haven't seen a trailer. All I've heard is like a 2-line description from multiple people.
Yes, and we tried to keep it a secret and have Joel blind react to everything that we're about to throw in front of him. So, this is your official spoiler alert. If you want to go watch it, go watch it. Do not listen to the rest of this because we will be spilling every single detail of the show.
Before we start spilling things, would you two recommend it?
To who? What's our demographic?
That's a really good question.
I would... People who are bored or can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
People who are in mental hospitals where they can't reach
The
channel changer.
Yeah.
100%. Or like don't have
It's
access
like
to the remote.
Like a dentist's or a doctor's office
Yeah.
kind of thing.
If you have no choice but to watch this show, then you can watch it.
I was actually at the doctor's today, and every single time I'm at the doctor's, they only have HGTV on there because it's a women's health clinic, and so they think that it's just gonna, women only want to watch HGTV.
Women want one thing, and it's disgusting.
It's HGTV. So, Joel, I would recommend this show, but the issue is that I would put a disclaimer on my recommendation. I felt like Len and I tried to get through it pretty fast, and we watched 3 or 4 episodes one night, and we felt like our brain was literally rotting. Like, both of us felt that way. It wasn't just one of us.
We watched 5 episodes.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It hurts to watch this show for a long
So,
period of time.
let's get right into the premise of the show. We have 1 week intro, so the couples all meet each other. 3 weeks with a new partner. 3 weeks with your original partner. And then the final day, which is the ultimatum.
Wait, I don't even understand. So are these married people?
No,
already?
okay.
No.
Basically, so these are individual couples who one person in the relationship has issued an ultimatum saying we're either going to get married or we're going to break up. And they decide to go on this very live and publicly televised show.
Either you humiliate yourself in public with me, or we're over, Mr.
Pretty much.
Mrs.
And so the premise, what they were going for is go and be with someone else and see if you really are ready to marry this person, or if you know you're not because you have a lot of really great sex with someone else's girlfriend.
So they started
from the
with-
get-go. I'm
Yes.
thinking this would be a great premise paired with Naked and Afraid, where you're just chilling with your ginnies out with
Yeah.
another person's significant other. Am I crazy? Does that not happen?
That is the show, but except they're
They're just not in survival mode.
there's not a survival mode.
They
Yeah,
are
but they are
naked.
naked a lot. Yeah.
You're joking.
No, they almost every couple.
No, don't spoil it. We're getting
Oh my
right into
god,
it.
this is so much better than I thought from the get-go.
So, there's 6 couples that start off in the show. I'm going to do a brief introduction of
You
all
can
of
get
them.
kicked off the island of ultimatums?
No.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could.
Technically, yeah.
So like I said, there's 1 week intro. So all the couples meet each other. They figure out who they want to be with for the next 3 weeks. So who out of the other people that are in the group, all of these people, this is a cis-het group.
Great, love it.
So there's no gay couples in this.
Shame.
They have to figure out
Oh my god.
They have to figure out who they're going to be with for the next 3 weeks. So they're going to have to figure out if they want to be with this partner long term, or if they want to stay with their original partner, or if they're ready to be single again, or if they're ready for marriage.
I like the idea that 5 out of 6 people find someone they care about, and then there's just 2 left over who are like, I guess.
Yeah, we do actually have to talk about that
Yeah,
couple,
we
because
do.
that couple was an issue. So let's start an introduction. We have Alexis Maloney, who's 25, who issued an ultimatum to Hunter Parr, who is 29.
Are these all Instagram couples?
No.
No.
Wow.
But Alexis Maloney looked like she wanted to be an Instagram influencer.
She had.
The weirdest shaped face. It was like straight.
It was
right
like imagine a
angles.
cone head had too much plastic surgery.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So they've been dating for 2 years, and she decided that she was going to issue an ultimatum. Lauren Pons, who's 29, is engaged.
She was 29.
Is engaged. Is
She's
in
a
a relationship
bombshell.
with Nathan Ruggles, who is 30, and they've been dating for 2.5 years. And Nathan initiated the ultimatum.
Am I crazy, or is that like a perfectly reasonable amount of time to not propose to somebody?
Oh, it gets worse.
Okay.
Just wait.
I'm sadly not
Randall-
able to talk on that subject.
Randall Griffin, 26, and Shanique Amari, 24, dating 1.5 years. April Marie, 23, and Jake Cunningham, 26, dating for 2 years. Ray Williams, 24, and Zay Wilson, 25, dating for 2.5 years. And Colby Kissinger, 26, and Madeline Ballatori, 24, dating for 1.5 years. So, Alexis
Wait, I
and
feel like they've been
Hunter.
dating for longer than that.
No.
Because they met in college.
Yeah.
They might have been straight out of college. They didn't have to start dating in college if they met in college.
That's fair.
Alexis initiated the ultimatum, and Hunter says that he's ready to be married to the right person, not necessarily Alexis.
And you can
So-
determine a right person in only 3 weeks, not 2 years.
So in the initial ultimatum, when they initially introduce the couples, they say who initiated the ultimatum, and then what the couples what the couples thought about the ultimatum. So Alexis is ready to get married. Hunter said he's ready to be married to the right person. It doesn't have to be Alexis. He said, and I'm quoting directly here, I could get married tomorrow to the right person.
Ooh, love it.
And then there's Nathan, who initiated the ultimatum. Nathan is 30, and he wants kids with Lauren, but Lauren doesn't want children.
So he was the one who was like, we need to get married and you need to start popping out babies.
Yes. And Lauren
Nice.
said, I don't want children. And the issue that this couple had was they were madly in love with each other, but she didn't feel like she wanted him to compromise on his beliefs about wanting and having children.
Love this.
Yes.
This is, okay.
Shanique initiated the ultimatum. She says she wants to be married and have kids yesterday. Randall wants to get rid of debt, wants to be financially ready for a big wedding.
Is Randall single? I'm going to go look up Randall after this.
Because Shanique is a spender.
No, he's not single. You can't fuck Randall, sadly.
This is disappointing.
Randall thinks that she just wants a wedding and doesn't actually want to be married. Do you have anything to say so far, Len?
No, the ones I actually have issues with
Are
coming.
Okay, so from the get-go, I am loving this premise because it seems like it is perfect for like some really trashy drama.
Yes.
My concern is that Netflix, after having seen several of their like romance TV shows, so they do like social experiments, they always have interesting premises and the execution is horrible. Like they're shot so blandly, they're edited together, there isn't a lot of energy to it.
This one's fine.
This one's fine?
This
Yeah,
one's not.
the thing about Love is Blind that I think we both, Len and I, had an issue with is that there's a lot of bald spots in the recording. So they'll be like, oh, we have 4 weeks. And then the next episode, it's like, well, this is the last day.
Sure.
That sucks. Like,
But the other issue I have with Love is Blind is I would actually argue it needs a director's cut where you have sort of less cut up conversations with people. Because these people are talking for like 10, 20, 30 hours over the period of weeks that they're together. And we get, like a 4-minute conversation. Right? And most of the conversations like, hi, I'm Bill. Hi, I'm Stacy. And they repeat that for every single couple. So we don't get any sort of like nuance and understanding about, what is it about these people that, makes them want to pair up. And I think a director's cut you could just put on in the background would be perfect.
Do we know or not know for a fact that none of the couples on Love is Blind had wall sex through the wall?
we don't know.
We don't know that. There's nothing in the rules.
There's nothing in the rules saying that that's not a thing.
That's what they had to cut out.
I did need to say
that's how much there's everything else is just wall sex.
the hosts are the same on both shows, and I don't know what they're getting paid for.
I hate the narrators.
The Lachey's.
Yeah.
So
What's their fucking cups? Are you gonna get into the cup?
Yeah. So Nick Lachey was actually married to Jessica Simpson, and he had his own reality TV show in the early 2000s, and then he got divorced from her, and then he got married to Vanessa Lachey after they'd been dating for 5 years, and she issued the ultimatum.
Ooh.
So they have a little bit of, But what I was going to say about the host is that I feel like they literally have nothing. Like they are there for a total of like 5 minutes in the entire show, and they add nothing to it.
Right. It's always like, oh, she's issued an ultimatum. He'd better watch out.
And they probably
it's like telling what the audience already knows.
Yeah.
And they probably got so much money for like 5 minutes worth of work.
I think they created it, like with how they created Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Like it was their like idea, but they just like
sold.
sold it to Netflix, I believe.
See, Netflix stock is tanking as of the time of recording. I
Yes.
think it's going to rebound. But
No, I don't. They're losing billions of customers.
Yeah, but they still have a huge market share, and I think there's growth potential even as like they're losing people. I think they're going to come around. We'll see.
It's the not being able to share passwords that
It's a lot
people
of
have an
things.
issue with.
But one of the things that I find
I've
interesting
never had that
is
issue. I don't have my own Netflix account.
Netflix refuses to invest money, it seems, into mid-budget shows. It's either insanely cheap shows like this, which have like no production costs, or incredibly expensive things like the Witcher series.
I feel
And they don't do a lot of medium ground stuff.
Bridgerton has such a large budget because you have to go into all of like the details of like that time period.
Right, but people are talking all about how A24 is such an interesting publishing house for movies, and it's because they make mid-budget films. They make interesting plots with like just enough of a CGI and acting budget to like make you feel drawn into the world. And Hollywood doesn't do that anymore. It's either like straight to red box films with Bruce Willis starring, mumbling his way through the dialogue, or it's like an insanely expensive MCU movie, which each one seems to get more and more expensive. And so I feel Netflix is missing an opportunity to do a slightly more expensive, higher production, like reality TV series similar to this, where they bring in more people. They bring in like Idris Elba to be the narrator and provide like some choice remarks. They have like more interesting people who might actually care about from the world of C-list celebrities. They need to invest some money into it.
I have a reality TV show idea. Just follow the worst frat and worst sororities around.
As a reality show?
As a reality TV show.
Interesting.
So you just see, like, how it actually is and, like, how trashy shit can get.
No, but the thing is that because they're on such a national scale and every little thing is scrutinized, like, I had friends my freshman year of college that got sent to the, like, board of directors or whatever they call it, because of something that they posted. Like, they posted alcohol on their Instagram or something. And so, because they're so scrutinized, because it is on such a national scale, and because they do have so many chapters around the country, and it's reflected on the entire, like, chapter, as, like, it is. So, like, that one, I think it was ASU that had that issue with it, either sorority or frat, that got shut down because they were having those MLK parties, those blackface MLK parties.
In good taste, though. That's what I'm
Their
What about
chapter
the
got
ones that
shut.
killed the kids?
We don't talk about
in good
those.
taste, though.
They locked them in dog crates and threw them on the bottom of a pool.
But because of that, I don't think that would be that they would like let that happen just because they want to put on this good face of like philanthropy.
I
Okay,
still
want to
think it would
circle
be
back.
hilarious.
I want to continue talking about this horrible show.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So we're still introducing the couples right
Oh,
now.
God.
So we have Colby, who initiated the ultimatum.
No,
and
we
he-
missed April.
No, we did not. I went Alexis, Nathan, Shanique, Colby.
Oh, different on my side.
Colby initiated the ultimatum. Madeline is not ready to get married, and she thinks there's more than one person for you. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, like you don't have to have
Polyamorous?
one.
I want 2 boyfriends in the
No,
ultimatum.
more of just like she thinks that there's more than one soulmate for one person.
Like she can if she's not the happiest she thinks she could be with Colby, there's someone else out there for her.
That can make her
Soulmates.
happier.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So something that like automatically starts at the beginning of the show is they're one of the first couples that's introduced fully. She's wondering what it's like to be in other relationships. Okay, natural thought. You go out and you're like, oh, what would it be like to be in a different relationship? But then you circle back and you're like, oh, I'm in this happy relationship. I don't want to be with anybody else. No. She looks directly at another character and says, I want that one. Just automatically, straight off the bat, made it very clear. I want to fuck this person. I want to make his babies, like, so, like, into this person straight off the bat. And she is so not into Colby. And she gives out this very, like, cold front. Colby's obsessed with her. Take it away. Talk about it.
Okay. So, I'm trying to describe the way he's obsessed with her. Take a man and a woman from BYU, freshmen, and make them... What's the first day looking like? Because this kid's horny. And he's like, I'm going to do everything I can to hold on to this person so that we can fuck.
Yeah.
He has that look in his eyes constantly.
Are they Mormon?
No,
No.
not one bit.
Are they in a chaste, no sex before marriage?
No,
No.
they have had that, but the lust that he has for her and that obsession that he has is equal to a BYU freshman who hasn't lost his virginity yet.
Yeah, it's like the weirdest, but it's consistent. It'd be different if it was like a little bit here and there, but it's like a consistent, hungry obsession.
So he kissed her on one of the initial interviews. They're like sitting in front of the camera, and he kissed her on the cheek, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that." And she was like, "Yeah, I didn't really like that you did that."
Ooh.
And it was like gross because he was like trying to like cover up the affection that he had for her. I get it. At times you don't want to be affectionate with your partner, but the fact that he said sorry for what he did was just like gross to me. And she like kind of like was like, ew.
Well, that seems like he's playing it up for the cameras almost.
See, I never got that vibe, and we'll talk
yeah.
about more about their relationship and how it ended up later on, obviously. But I never got that vibe that he wasn't totally fully obsessed with her.
No, I feel like he wasn't playing that. I feel, if anything, what he did throughout the show was he played certain aspects of his life down
Yeah.
more than anything. I feel like he would have the same energy level entirely through the show. It was never like he was like trying to promote himself in a different way. He was actually trying to hide more shit about himself than he was.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah. So next we have Ray, who initiated the ultimatum to Zay. Zay's still in college. Ray is in her career. She wants to get married. She wants an established life. Zay is still in college. He feels like he needs to wait a little bit longer, but Ray's ready for
How old
marriage.
are these people?
Ray is 24 and Zay is 25.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this doesn't buck the tradition of washboard ab, super attractive photogenic couples, no real body diversity, age diversity.
Well, there is a little bit of age diversity because there are people that are not really. They're like in their late 20s, like early 30s. They're not that much like age diversity. There's not a lot of like diversity.
Well, there is.
There is, but it's not like.
It sounds like there's a single black couple.
There's 3. I think Jake's a little bit.
Jake is mixed.
So it's 3.
There's 3 black guys
people and 1 half Asian.
Well, that's still not diversity.
It's not.
No, okay, so there's there's whites, there's African Americans, there's mixed, there's Asians, and there's.
That's it.
Is that it? Is that really it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel that like Netflix needs to be shamed for how it approaches these like slice of life dating shows.
The Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah. Where it's like, we're gonna pick attractive people that just so happen to be of specific races.
That all have abs.
Yeah, I did like it in season 2 of Love is Blind. They did introduce, I think, some additional people who were distinct enough from the previous all like white blonde girl audience. I was like, okay, this is interesting.
The thing about Zay though is that, going back to this, Ray says that she doesn't like go out that much, but Zay goes out a lot, like every single night, because he's a club promoter. And so he has a big platform on social media because he wants people to follow him and like earn him more money by promoting these clubs. So he doesn't post Ray on his social media. And this becomes a common theme in several different relationships. It is the fact that one of the 2 people in the relationship doesn't feel like they're being appreciated a lot on social media. And so that's an issue. The issue that Ray had with Zay was that Ray wanted to be posted so that these girls in Zay's DMs or these girls in Zay's comments knew that he was in a relationship, because he was not making it obvious and putting up those boundaries to those women that he was in a relationship.
Sure.
And that says more not about wanting to be posted, but more about the boundaries that Zay did not set up in his relationship.
We need to do a podcast episode about social media boundaries as a couple.
Yes, I would like to explore that more. So next there's April, who initiated the ultimatum. April doesn't really care about finances. April cares about April. So she's super in love with Jake, but also Jake bought her a car and called it her mom car. So she wants to take it to the marriage step because she thinks that that's like the thing. They've also only had unprotected sex, and this becomes a common theme that she brings up a lot because she says that they've never like had an issue with like not wanting to have children, like they want to have children, or she thinks that him having unprotected sex with him and buying her a mom car is his version of saying I want children right now. But Jake has made it very clear throughout the entire episode the entire season that he does not want marriage and doesn't want children with April. So can you flesh this out a little bit more?
It's hard because the reason they have so much unprotected sex, and I think Jake is okay with the amount of unprotected sex that they have, is because she is
she's infertile.
Ish. She has hormone imbalances that make it very difficult
she also
for her
has cysts on her ovaries.
Yes. I forgot what
Yeah.
There's a word for that. But ovarian cysts.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's 2 words.
Shut up. But it's hard because, I mean, it's good to joke about it. Like, you could say, like, oh, yeah, like, I got you a car. It's a big car, so it's your mom car. And I think that's what he was doing. But I think she took it more literally.
Yeah.
Than he meant it as. Like, he was more, I think he was going as, like, oh, you have a big mom car, like, a regular, like what's a mom car? Like an Escalade, a Suburban, like those big cars that you drag your kids to soccer in.
Yeah.
And so I think he was taking it like, oh yeah, I'm buying you a mom car. You know, a big haul, like you could fit a bunch of people, fit a bunch of shit in it. And she was there, she's like, you want me to mother your children. Like, you want me to be a mom.
There should be kids in this car right now. I
Fill
don't
up
care
the
if I
seats.
kidnap them. So let's go over weaknesses in the couples, because Len and I like to go through and pause the show every so often and just talk about weaknesses in the couples, or like weaknesses that we see. We just like to capitalize on.
Okay, I don't mean to hurry this along, but we're 25 minutes in, and I still don't know like what actually happens in this show.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're gonna go over weaknesses. We're gonna go over like who matches up with who, and then like what happened. We'll get there. Okay, so it's speeding up. Don't worry. So Original couples weaknesses. Alexis and Hunter. Alexis is a bitch.
Fucking hate Alexis. Oh my god, she's the most self-centered. If I'm not important, if no one likes me, they're the issue.
Yeah. If she's like, if I'm not the center of attention, I'm not there, basically. Like, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm not the center of opinion. Hunter, in this couple, doesn't know what the heck he wants, which was mentioned above when he was like, I don't care if I get married tomorrow to the right person. Colby and Madeline. Madeline's too into other men, and Colby's too into Madeline. Lauren and Nathan. Lauren doesn't want kids. Nathan does.
Lauren's a bombshell. I have to put that. She's
good looking.
Fine.
I'm gonna clip this and use this whenever we talk about my girlfriend. Yes.
April and Jake. April's too into April, and Jake isn't ready for marriage. Randall and Shanique. Shanique wants a wedding, not the marriage.
Shanique sucks.
Yeah, Shanique sucks. She
immature
shuts
little
down.
Bitch.
She shuts down when they're having conversations, so Randall will be talking at her, and she'll just be looking away, like not wanting to hear the conversation if it's not exactly what she wants to hear. And then blames him for not communicating correctly. And then Randall isn't ready, and then Ray and Zay, well, just Ray and Zay, like...
It's hard. They're...
Couples with rhyming, matching names concern me.
Well, I think her name is longer. I don't know what it actually is. I think Ray's a nickname, but she goes by it legally.
I don't know.
I don't know. It was weird.
It's Rachel and Zachel.
It's Rachel and Zachel.
Rachel and Zariel.
So they we're skipping to the we're at the point where every couple has met each other.
Okay, let me go through that real quick.
Yes.
So how they had everyone meet? So they took all 12 of these people and put them in a pool area, like a hotel, like a rooftop pool deck,
hot tub.
And had them all meet and talk to each other in bikinis and bathing suits,
and go
in front of their partner.
Sure.
So they're like, so everyone's like talking to someone, but then like looking over because they'll hear their significant other laugh and like look, and they'll see them like laughing like, and then they'll get mad and like, oh my god. Shit show.
It's
absolute
drama.
Fucking shit
Whatever
show.
Whatever person in this partnership decided to go on this show, I think they would just be much happier doing like wife swapping or something.
Yeah. That one reality TV show called Wife Swap.
No, I mean the act of like just sexually sharing your significant others with other people.
Oh.
That's swinging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or being a cuck. It depends on what you're into.
So.
Sure.
Anyways, what the main piece of drama that happened on top of the fact that they were dating everybody else in front of their original significant others was Alexis was really into Colby going into this, and she was like, I really want to be with Colby for the next 3 weeks. So she goes up to Colby and they go on this date, or this like date, I guess you could say, but it's
they're
just
in the
like
cabana and they're talking.
Yeah. And Colby just straight away is like, I'm not interested in you. Like, nothing against you. I just don't feel like we vibe. I feel like I vibe with the other women more. Nothing against you. Just like, you're not my type. So then she comes back, 3 separate times and is like, I just have an issue that like you were just so mean to me and you don't like me. And I think that we should still be together in the next 3 weeks. But I have an issue with the fact that you don't like me and that you're so rude about it.
Every successful relationship I've had has started with me guilt tripping that person into dating them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm like, I have leukemia, and the doctor said that if someone loved me, it might go away.
So, who matches up with who?
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to keep track of any of these people.
That's fine.
They're all interchangeable.
So, we start up at the matchup.
Oh my.
We start up with the matchup, and so first we start with the scene opens up with Nathan looking over at Madeline and saying, I want to match up with you. And his girlfriend, his original partner, going like, what the fuck? Like, that's so weird. He's like whispering across the table at Madeline, like, I want you.
He's he's going, I'm gonna pick you.
I want some fuck.
And Madeline's like literally like cringing away. She's like, ugh. So the partners that end up matching up are
Wait, no, we're missing a very important thing before.
No. That happens after they match up.
Well, not quite. I mean, it would be
I'm just gonna go over couples and then what happens during the matchup. So we'll start with Randall. Randall matches up with Madeline because Madeline really vibed with Randall. Shanique matches up with Zay. Ray matches up with Jake, and April is left with Colby. So you're thinking, there's 2 extra couples that didn't get matched up. Well, they got engaged.
At the choosing place.
Yes.
Wait, what?
So
Yeah, okay.
you're thinking, that's freaking weird. Go ahead.
Oh my fucking god. So, Alexis comes in, she's there, she's like, you know what? I just feel like the one person I had my eye out for just is a dick, and I can't find anyone else because I spent all my time trying to talk to this one person, and they're just were terrible to me, and like led me on, and everyone was like,
No one
what
cares.
the fuck?
Yeah.
And then Hunter's there, and Hunter was like, and then basically this April was talking about Hunter and was like, you're such a great person, you really made me feel good. Then he has a change of heart. He's like, I don't want anyone but Alexis.
Wait,
so he
what?
gets up and he walks over to Alexis and he goes, I'm ready now, and gets on one knee and fucking proposes.
What?
And then,
So they're off the
and then Alexis, after getting engaged, goes, I really want to say this. Colby, you're an awful person. In front of everybody. She goes, Colby, you're awful. Like, you did not have to treat me like that. And he was there and he was like, the little look on the cookies, he was there and he's like, what the fuck? And so, actually, that's a great segue, because then Colby was going to pick Lauren. And Lauren is like there in...
Because Colby and Lauren's the one that doesn't want children.
Yeah.
And Colby was like, well, I think that I could help you through this. And he like takes on this therapist role. He's like, I could be attracted to you, but I know that you're not attracted to me. So for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to counsel you into wanting to have children. So he sits there, the initial date, they're sitting there, she goes, I don't want children. And he's like, okay, but I think that if you like had the right person and you like had the right partner, you would want children. So they switch over to the individual interviews and he goes, I know that she wants children. And it's like, bro, you're not fucking listening to her! Because she is under the impression that she takes the like vain side of it, which I don't blame her for. Like, children take a lot of physical like endurance, like that you having children takes a lot out of you physically, and so her body like it does a lot to your body. So she's like, I'm vain, like I don't want it to take away from my body, so I don't want children. So he's switching over to the individual interviews going, she actually wants children, she's just lying to us, and I think that I can get her to want children after these 3 weeks. So going back to what happens to the other couple is Lauren and Hunter. So Hunter doesn't get matched up with... What?
Lauren and Nate.
Sorry, Lauren and Nathan. Nathan doesn't get matched up with anyone, so he's pissed. So he gets up and he... like
as
literally,
Colby's picking his girlfriend.
Yes. And Nathan goes, I don't want anyone but you. I don't care that you don't want children. You're the only family that I want. Let's get engaged. And she said, oh my god, yes! And they get engaged on the spot. Then this huge fight breaks out. And everyone's like, fuck you, you just overshadowed the first engagement. Nathan, you're only getting engaged because nobody else wants you.
And like people are yelling and he goes, How did I do anything wrong? How did I do anything wrong? What the fuck are you talking
And
about?
Lauren's just sitting there and she just like fully composed, hasn't moved a muscle, she's like happy she's engaged, and then that's the end of the scene.
I'm lost.
What are you lost about?
Yeah, tell us.
Boy, this is a lot to deal with.
Oh, we're not...
Is there a cash prize? Is the prize just finding someone you care about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's so fun. These people
Yeah.
in their lives
Yeah.
for a spot of celebrity.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is like the prequel to Too Hot to Handle. Because everyone on Too Hot to Handle is like, I'm an influencer, celebrity, sexy person.
Mm-hmm.
And these people want to be influencer, celebrity, sexy
No,
people.
Zay does. Everyone else really does it. Everyone else have like...
April.
Well, they have to debase
April's
themselves
already-
on national TV in order to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
I would go on national TV.
I
Shit,
would.
they were living for free everywhere. In like
Okay,
nice
you're
places.
Right. Rent is expensive.
For like months.
It
Like
was
it was
Austin,
2 months for
Texas.
free. It was 2 months for free room, board, and food. I would do that.
Yeah, but then you have to give up your job for 7 weeks. And you also have to talk about the fact that, like, everyone is so intrusive on your life. Like, you have to have a social media presence.
I would have a complete different name, different background. Like, I would just make up a second life.
See, at first we were just playing, and this was like, oh, this is goofy, and these people are going to ridicule themselves. And then we're like, oh, no, two couples are going to just absolutely destroy everything they have in order to make drama.
Yeah.
That's
You think the producers were standing on the side and were like, hey, $50 says you don't go propose over there.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, man, no balls. You won't propose to her.
Hey,
right
your
now.
girlfriend says you're too much of a chicken. Oh my God, she said what?
So we're past the first week. We're moving into the first
How
3
many
weeks with the new
episodes are
partner.
there?
There's
9 plus a reunion, so 10 altogether.
Yes.
The reunion sucked. It was nothing.
Is the
We'll get
first
to it.
episode just all of this?
No, this is the first 3 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now we're into the 3 weeks with the new partner. So all the new people are together, and let's talk about the awkward parts of this show. So there are meetups with the women, and there are meetups with the
my
men.
God.
Would you like to explain
So all
this?
the women, all the men.
Yeah, so all the women go to like a bar together, and they'll be like drinking and talking and stuff. Everything. Somehow all the conversations are like, you know what, your boyfriend had a boner the other day when I was laying next to him and I kind of touched it.
The other day, I had sex with your boyfriend. You know what? I used to have unprotected sex with my original partner all the time. We didn't care if we had children. And then April just starts fucking crying. And you're thinking, why is April crying? She's like, I just want to have babies with him and I just wish he proposed because all we do is have unprotected sex and I'm so infertile and like, he bought me a mom car and like blah, 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 blah. And you're just thinking, why is she crying? But like, I'd understand it because these other women are talking about the sex that they're having with her partner.
Okay, it's a Netflix original series with a trashy premise, but the prize is actually you get therapy to do hang-ups at the end. It's like, hey, we recognize that you're a broken human being, and health insurance is expensive, so we'll give you 1 year of free therapy through, what is that app? It's like Talkspace.
Yeah.
BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
That's what I use.
So then
Shout out to Joanne, by the way. I'm going to send
we'd
Joanne
like to
this.
thank our sponsor, Talkspace.
No, Joanne, I love you. You're the best.
So then there's meetups with the men, obviously, and the men obviously have the same sort of talks. But then there's a fight that breaks out with Colby and Zay because Colby says, oh, well, when we went out to the club the other night, Zay was like handing me women because they were attracted to him, but he was like, oh, I don't want to sleep with you. So they went and sent them Zay's way. So then Zay was like, no, I didn't sleep with any women. I only slept with... Why are you doing that right now?
Sorry, listeners, we're watching Len attempt to surreptitiously open
I'm
a
trying
chocolate-
so
He
What if
couldn't
it's
have
background
waited for like an extra 20 minutes. He can't sit still for that long. I mean, it took away everything he was playing with in the background, but no, he decided to get up and eat chocolate in the middle of this.
Are you two gonna break up again?
Yeah,
What?
again.
Wait, what do you know?
Mommy, Daddy, don't fight.
Wait, what do you know?
So the meetups with the men. So Colby and Zay are getting in a fight because Colby's like, oh, well, you set women up my way. And he goes, I would never do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out that Zay admitted that Colby had been making out with different women at the club when he was only supposed to be with April. Come to find out later on that Colby was actually on dating apps telling the women that he was meeting up with that he was in an open relationship with his original partner and he was sleeping with multiple people while the show was going on and not the original woman that he had been set up with through the show.
Classy.
So then there's a meetup with all of the new couples. So you get to watch your partner, your original partner, be on a date with their new partner. Joel has no words.
This all seems pretty straightforward. It would logically derive from the premise that they would set up scenarios like this. I'm just picturing the actual interactions now, knowing what these people are capable of and what the stakes have been. And I can imagine that at some point during one of these meetups, people start screaming and another couple is like, let's get engaged right now and show them.
So let's talk about what the new couples look like. So we have Ray and April. Ray and Jake. Ray and Jake are too into each other. I think they're too into the honeymoon phase. They're too ready to get married. Jake's like, oh my God, I'm so ready to like do this life with you, blah, blah, blah. If we live together, we have to have sex every single day and blah, blah, blah. They talk about these things.
Was Ray. Ray was wanting sex every day.
Okay, well, he was like, okay, I can do that.
Well, who couldn't? It's once a day.
So anyways, That's their issue. Then that they're just too into each other. Then we have who got together? April and Colby. April and Colby are just therapists for each other. Like
they were the outcasts, the one that you were talking about.
Yeah.
They were the leftovers that just kind of got matched up.
I want them to be like besties and like
they are besties actually. To this day, like they were there like even in the reunion episode. They were like, I would have done it with you. Like I love the time we spent together. Like it was so much fun.
But
I'm glad
they
we
get to
like
have
this.
fun. You know, I'm not saying I would want to humiliate myself for multiple weeks. You know, on a TV series doing exactly this. You know, you might as well get a new partner and some like drama out of it. But like. It sounds like it would be a lot of fun to, like, as everyone else is melting down and their lives are imploding, just having, like, this normal platonic relationship with someone, not jeopardizing your future with friends and family, and getting to, like, slide in snide remarks. Just be like, well, you know, I'm not sleeping with other people on dating apps. And I was like, oh my god, how do you know? And they'll be like, ooh, looks like they fucked their lives up. And everyone's like, yeah, exactly, beautiful.
So, then we have...
They should become the narrators. Halfway through, it should be like, hi, we're taking over the show. These people do not have their shit together. You know who does? The two people who no one loved.
So then we have...
I like that one. I like that a lot.
You know,
So next, we just went over Ray and Jake. Now we have Zay and Shanique. Zay and Shanique cannot communicate whatsoever. Shanique shuts down and Ray just gets louder.
I like the idea that they're instead, like, different languages. So, like, Shanique speaks, like, Spanish and Ray speaks, like,
Russian.
Russian, sure. Yeah.
No, their communication skills are just shit. They're both immature. They both don't know what they actually are looking for and, like, what an actual, like, grown-up, like, regular relationship with healthy communication is. So they just keep butting heads and like because they don't communicate anything with each other.
Donde está el amor?
Yeah, but the one thing they do know how to communicate in is where the condoms are.
They do have a lot of sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they had sex one time.
One time that we know of.
Well, she confirmed that on the reunion episode because she talks about the fact that she was like, once I had sex with Zay, I was like, this is not the person for me because we just didn't get along in bed.
But there's video footage of them under the pillows, like jerking each other off. That's on the show.
Incredible. So you said there's nudity. Is there like full frontal nudity?
No, not full frontal, but like close enough where it's like you know they're naked.
Well, like Too Hot to Handle, like they have like surreptitious cutaways and like I think like in Too Hot to Handle there's like a butt.
Butts are fine.
Yeah.
Is it like a full ass or like was
I think
it
it's
like
a full ass?
A full ass?
Yeah, just like a dude like cleaning himself off.
Like a full dude ass?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta watch this show.
Uh-huh.
Is that why you watch the show? All the dude ass?
Yes. You know, there's actually a category on Netflix. It's called Dude Ass. Namia's not amused.
Yeah, she's hating us right now.
She
So let's
thinks
take
these
this over.
dudes are
Yeah, so dude ass.
So April and Colby are too in love with their original partners to even seek new experiences. So they do therapy, and then on like the last night, they like end up making out, and they don't really talk about if that like turns into sex, but they do like end up like having a little canoodle.
Ooh. And does she get successfully convinced to have babies?
Well, we'll talk about it.
Oh my god!
So then, Randall and Madeline, I feel like their weakness was that they were too sexually attracted to each other to have an emotional connection. So they didn't end up having sex. Madeline was like, well, her love language is like touch. And Randall was like, well, I don't want to mess up things with Shanique. And so he didn't end up actually having sex with Madeline because he didn't want to mess things up. And Madeline only wanted to have sex with him and didn't want the emotional connection.
But his partner Shanique did have sex.
With Zay because...
Because she thought that Randall was fucking Madeline.
Oh.
So she was there. She's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna go fuck this dude. And
it was literally right after they had a dinner date, and like she shut down, and, and she was like, "Well, I don't." He was like, "Well, what do you want from me?" And she's like, "Well, I just wanted you to come on this show and just sit in a corner and say you only wanted me."
But he was like, "That's not the fucking reason. That's not how this shit works."
I mean, obviously, like a couple that can communicate wouldn't be on this show, but like. God, just if you sat down with your partner and were like, I'm having serious problems, I feel like we could monetize this in some capacity, let's go on this show. I feel your partner at bare minimum would be likely to set boundaries and be like, I'm okay if you explore the idea of dating other people, just please don't have sex with them or something. At the point where you're like, yes, let's go on this show, humiliate ourselves in public, and you can bang other people, I feel you've effectively broken up with that person.
See, that's effectively what they talk about at the beginning of the show. They're like, oh, well, we're, like, breaking up right now. Like,
it's weird that we're, like, the last night they have with each other, like, the original couples, they're like, it's so weird that, like, we're not going to be together, like, tomorrow. And so they're all, like, effectively breaking up.
So Netflix
But they're not actually.
Netflix actually broke up 6 couples, if you think about it.
No,
These
they
couples-
broke up 4.
Yeah.
But then tried to put them back together after they fucked the other people.
Incredible.
So, let's talk about who sleeps with who in the first 3 weeks. So, Zay and Shanique slept with each other. We thought Ray and Jake did because of some things that came about in the 3 weeks after. And then they hinted at Colby and April sleeping together, but they never actually confirmed that.
But we know for sure that Shanique and Zay definitely did have sex.
Yes.
But Ray and Jake did not. That comes up in the reunion.
Even though they had sex toys in their room.
No, she had sex toys because she.
Yeah, but then Zay asked if they had used them together.
Well,
and she said
they can
yes.
use them together. Just that doesn't mean they had sex.
Okay.
They could have been intimate with each other, but they did not have sexual intercourse. Is what the point
You're
is.
saying
sexual
penetration is
relations.
the.
I'm saying the way that they're talking about it is like, did his dick go in you? Kind of deal. So that's what I'm saying. That's like having sex with that person is penetration.
I'm just saying, here on the Date These Guys podcast, we don't endorse rigid definitions of sex.
Well, okay.
Unless we're asking a former president of the United States to testify about his relationship.
I did not have
sexual relations with that woman,
Monica Lewinsky.
But
depends what the
they're
definition
going.
of the word is.
I believe they're going for at least the show
Okay.
standard is penetration means sex for the show standard.
Because this is hat sis.
But it seems like they were intimate. They could have been intimate with each other without crossing that threshold of penetration.
Okay, so we're through the first 3 weeks. We're on to the next 3 weeks.
Where you get back together.
Yes, where you get back together.
Okay. Back up a second. I'm
Yes.
now
Okay.
for this. So there's like that Japanese art form where like you've shattered something by accident and you repair it with like a gold lacquer.
Yeah.
Is that right? And it's meant to emphasize that a like mistake was made or that damage has been done, but also highlight it to show its beauty. And like the imperfections. I'm picturing that, except they use literal dog shit instead of the gold lacquer. Right, like they literally find a dog and they use its poop to like put a cup back together, and that is what these relationships are now.
I mentioned this to Len when I first started watching this, is that like this is what reality TV tried to be in the early 2000s.
Yes.
So you have those awful shows like Paris and Nicole take on like rural parts of America.
What?
Or like
They killed so many people.
Actually fun.
That's a real thing.
Paris Hilton and her friend Nicole Richie, they went into the rural parts of America and tried to survive on like minimum wage and like because they were so used to like millionaire like lifestyles and stuff.
When you're editing this episode, please make a note here to insert like part of a promo for the show because we are not making this up. This was a real thing.
Did they kill people?
No, but they went
I
to
seem to
like
recall there's an episode they're working at a funeral home and they like drop someone's ashes everywhere.
yeah, so like they worked in like Arkansas, they which is funny because our cousins are actually in that episode.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. And then they tried working at like a McDonald's, and like they're used to like getting handed money to them, so it's like it's hard and a hard adjustment. There was also a reality TV show like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but it didn't give you a real inside look into their lives. It was just like what the drama was in the tabloids at the time. This is what reality TV show wanted to be in the early 2000s, and now that it's here, you don't want to watch it because it's so cringy.
Yeah, this seems like a revival of Fear Factor, where it's like, and
I
you now
loved Fear
have to
Factor.
eat raw
I
horse penis.
loved Fear Factor.
We
and
got an old man
not,
to blow his nose into this cup, and
the
whoever
horse
drinks
penis
the most.
actually isn't from Fear Factor. That's a Dave Chappelle skit where it's
Fuck Dave Chappelle. All my friends hate Dave Chappelle.
The point I'm trying to make is we kind of lost gross out cringe humor, and now it's back. But instead of like looking at people do things that we consider like culturally disgusting from like an edibility standard. It's doing things that are considered culturally disgusting from a relationship standard.
Dave Chappelle's on tour right now with Joe Rogan. Let that sink and then get back to me about how you feel about Dave Chappelle. So, the original couples get back together. Madeline finds out that Colby's been sleeping around with other women during the first 3 weeks, other than April. Colby then gaslights her into thinking it's okay and that it's all her fault because she brought him onto the show. And
if someone wants to go on the show with their partner, they have determined this relationship is beyond salvation.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
No, you're right.
So it's her fault. So he can sleep around because it was Madeline's idea to come on the show to seek new experiences. And so he wasn't seeking new experiences because he got the short end of the stick when he was matched up with someone he didn't want to be matched up with. And so he needed to go seek out those experiences with somebody other than people that were on the show.
Also, I have 3 forms of herpes now.
Basically. April goes through Jake's phone and finds videos of Ray twerking on his phone and then goes ballistic. Airdrops those videos to her phone. Why would you want those videos on your phone? And
good video, though. They
Jake
compared them.
is hurt that she would go through his phone in the first place, and he wants nothing to do with April. He was like cringing away from her hugs, her kisses, doesn't want to talk to her. Clearly still into Ray.
This is like, and again, back to the analogies. So similar to the dog poop analogy, this is like a Pavlovian response where like you beat a dog every single day when you ring a bell, and then you ring the bell, and you're like, why isn't the dog running to play with me? Come and play with me. And the dog's like, no, don't hit me anymore. And you're like, no, I just want to cuddle with you. And the dog's like, I feel like I'm gonna get hit again. And that's the partners in this relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a really fucked up analogy, dude.
But you know what I'm saying.
I know, but yeah,
It's a great
I
analogy.
feel like you could have just said Pavlov and we would have understood, but you had to like go in like gross detail about beating a
obviously
puppy.
you want to like make our podcast inaccessible with the references we use.
No,
I'm trying to make it like approachable so even people who didn't have like a science education can understand it.
Pavlov is a very well known
that's
thing.
not true.
That's not true. Mister, I went to a California school, so everyone has the same quality of education.
Mister, I'm not 49th in education. Okay.
Are you guys 50th now?
We are 50th now.
So clearly he's still into Ray. April shares that they're still sleeping together without protection.
Is that the one of the female meetups?
She has a pregnancy scare, and then
that would be like a pregnancy miracle. I thought she wanted kids.
yeah, but Jake doesn't want anything to do with her now.
He's just fucking her because she's available.
Yeah. And then Jake only cares about Ray's emotional well-being and doesn't really care about April's during the last 3 weeks of the show, and April notices that. Then Ray and Zay get into a fight. He goes off without communicating, comes back at 8 in the morning, and Ray is so fed up that they break up. So they're done before even the ultimatum is made.
You said 8 in the morning?
8 in the morning, 8 a.m. So he goes out the night before, goes partying.
Is this like a hidden camera thing where they put cameras in the corner of the house, or is there a camera crew following these people around?
No, there's a camera. So they have a camera crew going around, but like for the later points of the night, there are cameras in the rooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then Colby and Madeline struggle after Madeline finds out Colby slept with several women while the show is going on, and then Shanique and Randall cannot communicate. Shanique keeps shutting down when he hears something that she doesn't like, and then blames Randall for not communicating. So they're still having the same issues, and then she thinks that Randall's using finances as an excuse to not get married.
Okay.
Okay. So, like, as an excuse, not as, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
she's just saying, like, oh, finances aren't really an issue. You're not really in debt. You're just saying that because you don't want to get married to me. So, who actually stays together? So, we're past the 3 weeks. We're past the initial 3 weeks. We're past the 3 weeks where they get back together. We're at the final day. We're at the ultimatum. Who stays together? Who do you think? You can just outline them. You don't need to name them.
My hope is all of these people come away realizing that they've made mistakes and they need to focus more on themselves before they can go out and date other people, because clearly they both are paired up with individuals that don't respect their values, and they themselves may not know the things that they want in life. My guess is 4 out of 6 people decide to stick through it, and it's couples that didn't work out at all to
There's
begin
8.
with.
No,
There's
6.
8 people.
So 4 out of 6 couples.
So
8
two
total
already
people.
got engaged. So there's 4 couples left.
Yeah.
So there's 8 people altogether. and that went
So
through
you're
the
saying-
three process.
I'm
You're
saying
saying-
all of them.
You're saying all of
No,
them.
probably 3 out of the 4.
3 out of the 4 remaining
Yes.
get engaged. Okay, let's talk about it. Colby and Madeline get engaged,
Great.
and then they get married.
Great.
Immediately.
Literally immediately. He turns around, he goes, I have a pasture right here, we're getting married.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's so manipulative.
Literally minutes after getting engaged. They didn't even discuss the fact that he had slept with multiple women during the show that wasn't her.
They get into that in the reunion, though.
They do.
Okay, I am not... How do I phrase this in a way? I'm not trying to stigmatize people who have STIs, right? Like, sexually transmitted disease is something a significant portion of the population has, as we've discussed
Yes.
on our sex ed episode. It's not something to be ashamed of. It is, however, something that you need to talk about with a partner.
That's
course.
exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
As soon as they walked up and were in front of the pasture, I was thinking, has he gotten tested yet? And because it has not been 2 weeks since the last time he slept with somebody.
Because it sounds like these couples, most of them want to have lots of sex.
Yes.
You should probably figure out if you can still have lots of sex safely.
My issue with the show was that they were throwing these couples together and then they weren't getting them tested after they clearly had slept together. So, Colby and Madeline, married. Shanique and Randall get engaged. And you're thinking, that's kind of weird because
They had the most
finances
issues. Yeah.
were an issue. Communication was an issue. Well, Randall doesn't care. So they didn't fix any of their issues that they came into the show with. They just got engaged. Zay and Ray break up before the ultimatum decision is made. We already went over that. And then April and Jay break up. Jake then rolls up with Ray to the engagement site and says, hey, I have a ticket for you for an airplane ticket for you for anywhere in the world. Anywhere you want to go, I will take you. And then they just walk off into the sunset together. So he gets back with the original girl. So, reunion episode.
No, not the original episode. Not the original girl. He got back with the girl that he got matched up with. Him and his original couple break up.
Yeah, I do want to circle back to something I think maybe Len said, which was, how do these people take so much time off of work? Because it implies
That
to
was
me
her.
these people either weren't employed to begin with, or were like working at their parents' companies and could afford to like take time off without
Ray
jeopardizing
is the
their
only
careers.
one that works throughout the show.
Okay.
Yeah, that we see. Like, she gets up and, like, gets into her scrubs and is like, hey, I gotta go to work. And she's like, what are you doing today? She's like, he's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna sit around all day.
I'm gonna bang other women, and she's like, well, I'm gonna go save some lives.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty
Hot.
much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a Mitchell and Webb sketch. I think it's a Mitchell and Webb sketch where and this is fun because it's made in the early 2000s. It just stars a gay couple for no reason. They don't remark upon it or anything. It's really progressive in that regard. And this guy comes home and his husband's sitting at the dining room table and he's like, so how was work today? And he's like, oh, it was really difficult at the ice cream factory. The ice cream factory where I work and sample ice cream all day. I just feel like I'm not appreciated at the ice cream factory where I sample ice cream all day and enjoy lollipops and pet puppies and all that good stuff. And he's like, well, I shouldn't complain. What about you and your job, helping sick kids with cancer? And he's like, well, I can't really talk about that. It's not nearly as stressful as your very important job at the ice cream factory playing with puppies all day. And that's what this relationship is. This is the ice cream taster versus the person who helps cancer.
Yeah.
And us mocking them the entire time.
Yep. So, reunion episode is filmed 6 or so months after the show ended. Madeline and Colby come out. They're married.
Okay. Oh.
They're married. And they're 7 months pregnant.
Filming stopped 6 months ago.
I can do math.
Zay and Ray decided that they were going to get back together. I'm giving you the highlights of the reunion.
Okay.
They decided they were going to get back together, but then it didn't work out. So they were briefly together, and then it didn't work out.
They tried. So they were like, yeah, we tried for a little bit, but it just ultimately we decided to call it quits.
That's why they called it Ultimatum.
Yep.
Ultimately. They said the name of the show.
April is involved with an older guy. She's obsessed with the fact that he wants to get married. She's
and
like,
have babies.
She's like, every single morning he gets up and tells me how much he wants to marry me.
He wants to pump me full of babies. It's so hot.
Jake and Ray.
Please don't ever. Unless.
Pump.
Jake and Ray never went on their trip. Lauren and Nathan compromise after going to therapy and are only having one child.
Oh my god!
Tell me how that's a compromise!
Oh, that's so bad. Are they adopting this child?
I'm wondering if Nathan hired one of his friends to dress up as a therapist and like charge them $300 an hour just to gaslight her into thinking that she should have a kid.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah.
Where she has one of her friends pretend to be a therapist and the friend just agrees with her on everything.
Yeah.
And Matthew McConaughey's like, what? And she's like, see, the way you're getting so angry and confused
all right. I'm being gaslit right now.
I used to gaslight people before.
Gaslight.
Wow. That's fun and incredible, and I'm glad. Here's the worst part. I kind of want to watch this now, but I know you've highlighted the only interesting parts of the show.
But then there's one last part.
Oh, fuck.
So Shanique and Randall got engaged on the last episode. The reunion, they come back and said that they did not magically fix the issues that they were facing. They broke up, took time for themselves, and then got back together and are working on things that actually matter in their relationship. There's not much drama in the reunion. The only thing that had any significance was that Ray and Zay were fighting a lot.
I'll get into this.
Yeah.
So basically, Ray and Zay, Ray was like, yeah, I tried to get back, but ultimately I just didn't. She was like talking about Zay, but she's like, me and Jake, talked through this entire process, and he's like, then Zay comes out and he's like, he goes, how are you gonna say that when you were fucking me every night? Me and you, I was fucking you every night. And she was there, she's like, it wasn't every night. Yes, we had sex, but it wasn't every night. And he goes, no, that was every night. And gets like pissed, and you're like,
and you had 15 orgasms every night.
And she's like screaming at him because it turned into like, you should apologize to me and blah blah blah. And so she's like screaming. She goes, I'm not going to back down anymore. You're not going to make me feel like I should be step down from this. I'm gonna like win, like blah blah blah, screaming at each other like from across, like they're on two separate sides of this like open like U-shaped reunion episode. And so they're screaming at each other, and everyone's kind of looking at each other like, what should we do? And then they finally calm down, and Zay just walks off.
It doesn't calm down, because he was there, and she's like, I didn't, because he was, the whole time, he was like, he was like, we fucked all the time, and it was better than Jake. And she goes, I never had sex with Jake. And like, they made the whole thing, he was like, my ass, and like yelling, and she's like, no, we never had sex. You're the one that fucked Shanique. And then he gets pissed off and walks away. He's like, bro, I can't fucking handle this shit. Gets up, walks away, walks into some closet for like 5 minutes.
The only highlight that I think is necessary to talk about is the fact that there's these awful cups. You saw them in Love is Blind. You saw them in this show.
And that 3 girls went blonde after the show.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes.
They're becoming Instagram influencers to appear on Too Hot to Handle. Because Netflix has this, like, MCU universe where people from one show will reappear in others. And it's like, oh my god, it's that trashy, horrible person from that other show.
Yeah.
So you have these cups, and they're awful.
Oh my god, I hate these cups.
When, like, you know which ones I'm talking
like
about.
From Love is Blind, the ones that are, they're like...
metallic golden Love is Blind,
Yeah,
so,
and they're like the wine glass shape, but they're not completely a wine glass.
Because they don't have stems. Well...
No, but some do have stems. It's a brand.
Okay.
I think it's still a Shay's brand, if I'm being honest.
So in the... As the couple who got engaged, married, and then or someone's pregnant, what did they give them as a baby gift? It was a sippy cup, but it was a metallic wine glass sippy cup.
Okay, that's a fuck you. So I guess that's confirming that Netflix makes these series insanely cheap by using like resorts or like branded sponsors.
So they basically, what they did was, I believe they used a hotel to keep them there. So they stayed in the hotel.
Imprison them for 6 weeks.
So they stayed in the for 2 months altogether, I think it was.
This is why there's a housing crisis in America. All these trashy rom-coms are constantly taking up housing stock in major cities.
Yeah.
But so I think they stayed in the hotel the entire time. And like switch rooms in the hotel, but they're all in the same hotel.
Okay, but then if this is supposed to be an experiment, it's worth having, control groups. Like, what happens if people aren't locked up in a hotel going insane due to lack of sunlight? Like what happens if they're in houses?
No, they leave and they go to work.
And they go to clubs and they go out and they have their own lives.
They go to bars and fight with each other.
Okay, so what's our takeaway? Because I have a couple.
I hate this show.
I hated it. I hated the fact that they broke up these couples.
But you're talking about it. You're giving Netflix.
No, I'm talking about it because I think it's a terrible idea, and I think these couples could have dealt with this in so many different ways, like maybe going to fucking therapy.
The show just sucked in general. Like, I really did not enjoy it.
So it wasn't even entertaining.
It wasn't. It was more, like, the entire time I was cringing. Like, I watched it to watch it, but it wasn't like I enjoyed any bit of it.
See, I feel all these shows want to create drama off of people making shitty romantic decisions. And I find that's an interesting niche because you don't see that with, like, other aspects of life. Like, we're going to follow Bill around and Bill buys too many lottery tickets. Or Tim has a porn addiction. Or
Isn't
Billy,
that just My Strange Addiction?
Is that My Strange Addiction?
That literally is My Strange Addiction, yeah.
Well,
It's like that one woman who likes to bite diapers.
Okay. I guess what I'm getting at is my question to myself is kind of why do people watch this and why does Netflix think people watch this? And
because it's what reality TV show wanted to be in the early 2000s. They're making it so cringy that you can't look away.
But why don't they improve, say, the production values or bring on more couples to have more content?
Because as long as you put the right filter on it, people will watch it because it's aesthetically pleasing.
And then it got big on TikTok, so people were making videos about how stupid it was, and everyone's like, it can't be that stupid. And then they started watching it, and then they're like, it's so fucking stupid.
Well, do we have any recommendations for Netflix to improve their series so they produce better cringeworthy content?
Maybe as a prize for the show, offer therapy to
Nick
everyone involved.
And
individuals
Vanessa
and couples.
Lachey, do better. You did Love is Blind. You did great there. This was not it. You guys
It's because
have
they
more
had
potential.
they had more of an influence on the couples in Ultimatum than they did on Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Love is Blind, they were in like 2 total scenes, and Ultimatum, they were in like a full episode.
Yeah, but I still think that they could have. This wasn't needed. They hit pay dirt, but they kept digging. Stop digging. You can't go any deep. You can't go any worse than this.
No, now I'm
What's going to be worse?
Okay. Too Hot to Handle. The premise is there's a cash prize where you lose money if you engage in sexual contact. In this show, there should be a cash prize for doing the whole show, and the pot increases the more sex these couples have. Netflix is actively encouraging the destruction of these relationships, possibly polyamory. And they give different amounts for different types of sex, and maybe like if you do it in front of your partner, like making out profusely with your new person, that's like an extra bonus. But the whole point of the show is how far will people go to win cash money and ruin their relationships and their lives?
What if people just have a cuck kink and they just go on that show to make a shitload of money just to get off?
Well, this is season 1. We're rolling the dice and assuming these people don't fit that description.
Well, we don't know that. I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, if the people watching it are watching this because they want to see people make bad decisions, and Netflix is creating this because they think that's the type of content people want, why not go farther? Why not debase yourself so fully people will never stop talking about it, and that way you become a hero, right? If you go kind of middle grade, you're a passing memory. These people will be forgotten in 2 months. But if you like commit to the bit, and it's like, this is the dude who got to 5th base with someone else's girlfriend on national syndicated broadcast streaming TV.
What is 5th base? Because there's 1 through 4, which I understand fully. What the fuck is 5?
You 21-year-olds, so young, so naive.
Is there another poll I don't know about?
I was not specifying sexual acts, but giving the idea that it was something greater than 3rd base.
Yeah, but you went 4th base, I get, but like...
Do you see what I'm saying, though? Right, where it's like, these people are destroying themselves and their relationships and getting so little out of it. Why not there be money? Why not there be therapy? Why
I think they do get paid throughout the entire show. Like, they have to be getting paid throughout the show.
Well, as you said, rent is expensive. Housing is its own reward. They take a bunch of homeless people and like, we will house you. But unfortunately, we will film all of your antics. Good God. So what's Netflix coming out with next in terms of zany...
They didn't say. They didn't have a promo for the next show. They did do that when they did...
Love is Blind Season 2.
They did a promo for Ultimatum, so... I didn't want to watch it initially, but then I started it, and I was like, I have to watch this. This is pretty bad. Just for the content of the podcast.
Incredible.
Anyways, I think we're pretty much done here. I hope everyone has a good week.
Can we give a little taste to our viewers? what are some things we might watch and either talk about in positive terms or deeply negative terms moving forward? I'll start. Silver Linings Playbook. I hate that movie. That movie's so bad. I have so many issues with it. It will be discussed.
I don't think it was Jennifer Lawrence's best movie.
What was Jennifer Lawrence's best movie?
I really liked her in Passenger.
Okay.
I really liked her in Passenger.
But Naomi, what are some romantic comedies you feel are worthy of praise or criticism we might get to? Are there any shows you particularly like or dislike?
New Girl?
Like Sex
I'll talk about New
Education.
Girl all the
I think it might
time.
be worth discussing Sex
Yes,
Education.
I
and
do
lessons
like
it
that
talks
show.
about.
I love Sex Education. I think that's a great show. I think that they do the right amount of like personal conflict with the right amount of like community like outreach. Does that make
I know
sense?
what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope everyone has a great week. Joel has to rush off to go see his girlfriend.
Who I'm breaking up with so I can film a reality TV series for 3 weeks.
Lauren,
6 weeks.
Lauren, disregard.
I love you, honey. My everything. According to Naomi and Len, you're a knockout. You're a bombshell. You're gorgeous. Thanks, y'all.
I was here too.
We have many thanks for the use of our theme music, which is the song Drop by Ketsa. You can find more of their music online at ketsa.uk. You can also find Date These Guys online on Twitter and Instagram at Date These Guys, or visit our website at datetheseguys.org. If you have questions you'd like us to discuss on the podcast or marriage proposals for either of us, shoot us an email at datetheseguys@gmail.com.